The opening game of the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be a repeat of the opening game of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, as host nation Mexico have been drawn in Group A against South Africa. Welcome to today's video, guys. I'm here to do a review of the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw that took place in Washington, D.C., the United States. I'll be touching on a couple of topics relating to the draw, as well as Africa's groups in the draw. So guys, without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, what I noticed about this draw was the fact that the FIFA president Gianni Infantino made this very much political, and especially because every time I hear FIFA talk about, oh, let's keep politics out of sports, let's not politicize the game and all of that, but this was very much a politicized event. And even in the months leading up to this particular event, I have seen a picture of Gianni Infantino at the White House, I am sure at least 10 times. You would think that it is only the United States that is hosting this World Cup, because the way Gianni Infantino has been warming up to the United States President Donald Trump, it's just really funny to me. And you see, at this event, Infantino went to the stage to present a FIFA Peace Award to Donald Trump for what he says, just for different, for people who watch the draw, you know what he said. I don't want to touch on that for too much, but this whole thing just felt like Infantino and Trump just trying to do some bromance on stage, and it just kind of rubbed off in a certain way that I'm not really sure we as football fans should be concerned about, right? So this draw in particular, I thought it could not have been politicized that much. The leaders of Canada and Mexico were also there, but it always just felt like this was just for United States only. But anyways, let's leave that aside. I want to go to another point, which is that FIFA actually structured this draw so that the top 4 ranked teams in the world, that's Spain, England, France, and Argentina, cannot meet each other until the semi-finals, as long as they all win their groups. Now, this is something that's also equally controversial, because a couple of people have said, they want to keep the best games until later in the competition. They are trying to protect the bigger teams, and they're trying to make money. I'm sort of agreeing with them, because this is unprecedented. This is the first time I personally have seen this happen. So I think, if you ask me, I find this very, very, I find it some way, but I think ultimately it is what it is, and they actually did announce this before the draw started, so everybody already knew about this anyway. So that's something that we should all note. And so if you watch the draw, you must have heard them also mention it on stage, the host of the draw, so yeah. And of course, before I get into the draw proper, especially for the African teams, I want to touch on one last topic that has taken place before the draws, right? And that's the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo was ineligible to play Portugal's first 2 games at the World Cup due to his suspension by a straight red card for violent conduct in Portugal's penultimate World Cup qualifiers against Ireland. Now, that suspension was supposed to take place. It was supposed to be a 3-match suspension because of a straight red card. That suspension was supposed to extend into the first 2 games of the World Cup after I missed the last qualifiers against Armenia. But surprisingly, FIFA has come out to say that that 3-match ban has now been suspended, and so Ronaldo is eligible to play. I find that interesting, because I think, as far as the rules go, Ronaldo was supposed to miss Portugal's first 2 games, and of course, if you want to now start going into corners and linking different things together, you will always find something, because there was an event at the White House, was it at the White House or somewhere in the US recently, a couple of weeks ago, where Ronaldo and Elon Musk and Donald Trump and the FIFA presidents were all there, and they sort of had a dinner and all of that. It was just, you can just, if you want to put two and two together in that case, I personally am choosing not to read meaning into it, but the fact that I think that came out after that event happened, or very, very shortly after, it just rubs off a certain way. But Ronaldo was supposed to be ineligible to play Portugal's first two games against at the World Cup because of his straight red card against Ireland for violent conduct in Portugal's penultimate game in the World Cup qualifiers. But FIFA has said, that suspension is now out of the way, and so Ronaldo will be able to play. Are they bending the rules for one player, for a star player? You guys can tell me, because I personally, I don't think I've seen this happen before. Anyways, let's get into the draw proper. Now, of course, my focus is going to be on the African teams in particular, and especially because in this draw, especially, I didn't think that there was any group of death, and I think that's partly because there are now 12 groups, so the big teams are well spread out. So I really can't say there's any group of death really. There's just groups where there are good teams and also other good teams, and maybe average teams and teams that will not make it past the group stage. So let's just get into it. The first African team on my list here, in Group C, we have Morocco and Brazil, which is going to be the opening game of Group C. Now, Morocco got to the semi-final of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Exceptional performance, beating Spain and Portugal along the way, and I think they topped their group. So, by the way, Morocco have it all to do in their first game. And then also in that group, there's Scotland and Haiti, So if you look at that group, obviously, based on the performance of the last World Cup and history of the World Cup, everybody tips Morocco and Brazil to be top two in that group. However, Scotland are very motivated. They secured World Cup qualification on the final day. They have a Scott McTominay who is now really I could say the leader of that Scotland team and has entered the peak of his career. So Scotland are very motivated. Haiti, I think Haiti will just come last in this group. There's nothing really much to say about that. So if you ask me, I say Brazil will top this group, Morocco will come second, Scotland will finish third, but they will qualify because, guys, take notes. There are going to be third place teams that will qualify. So there's 12 groups, and then firstly, the top two teams in each group qualify. There's a round of 32, right? There used to be a round of 16, but now with more teams, there's a round of 32. So when the top two teams, not the 12 groups, qualify, it makes 24 teams. Now, to make up the round of 32, there will be 6 extra countries that will qualify as the best third place teams. And that's where I'm tipping Scotland to get that spot in this group. So let's go to the next group that has an African team, and that's Senegal. That's Group I, as Senegal and France, Norway, and either of Iraq, Bolivia, or Suriname. Any of those 3 countries who wins in the playoff that is going to take place in March will be the last team to join this group. Now, Senegal and France, the last time they were in a World Cup group together, Senegal pulled off an upset, a major upset, that nobody saw coming. Senegal did it against all of us, a 1-0 win against France. So that's definitely a fixture to look out for. I think that's the most exciting fixture in that group. And to just say who is going to make it out of that group, I think that obviously everybody expects France to top the group. But however, Norway are very motivated. Norway, I could say, have their best generation of players since the last time they go to the World Cup, which was a long time ago. I don't know the exact date now, but Norway have Van Erling Haaland at the peak of his powers. Martin Odegaard, if he's fit, will also make the squad. They have the likes of Oscar Bob, the winger Antonio Nusa. They have the likes of Alexander Soloth. They have good players, and of course they have Haaland. So Norway, a good team. I think I want to tip Senegal to finish second in this group, but I don't think Senegal has shown me enough in the past 2 years after their AFCON win in 2022 to convince me that they will finish above Norway in this group. So I would say for Group I, France to finish first, Norway to finish second, Senegal to finish third, and either of Iraq, Bolivia, or Suriname that joins them in the group will finish last. So before I go on to the next group, let me take a water break, guys. Okay, now of course Group A, I've mentioned in the start of this video, has South Africa, Bafana, Mexico, Denmark, and either of North Macedonia, Czechia, that's formerly Czech Republic, or the Republic of Ireland. Whichever of these three teams gets through the playoffs to enter the World Cup. And in that group, I think that Mexico could top the group based on home advantage. They're not doing exceptionally well right now. They're not having the largest support in their home country. I've heard some reports about Mexico playing in the US, and then anytime they play in the US, they have more support than when they play at home. That's really bad. But I think the Mexican fans and the Mexican people will rally around their team for this World Cup. Obviously, they have to. And just by the mere fact that the opening game is a repeat of the opening game of 2010 World Cup, it will be a cracker. That would be a really, really entertaining game. So I think Mexico should just edge it in this group. They might top the group just maybe by being level on points with either of South Africa, and I think Denmark or Republic of Ireland could make it to the playoffs. But I can't really say in this group who the top three will be. So I can say top two, Mexico only just, and either of Denmark or Republic of Ireland will make it through. If Republic of Ireland qualify, by the way, will make it through will make it through the group, will finish as top two, and then South Africa will just finish as a third. They might get through to the knockout stages as one of the best third place teams. Now we move on to the next group that has an African team. That's Group E. Group E has Cote d'Ivoire, the Elephants, Les Elephants, if in French, if I got that correct. Has Germany, 4-time winners, has Ecuador, and has Curacao, who are a small island nation that have qualified for the World Cup for the first time in their country's history. And obviously, everybody should expect Curacao to finish last in this group. I don't think there's anything else to say about that. Cote d'Ivoire, current African champions. Obviously, by the time the World Cup comes around, there will possibly be a new African champion. We never know. Will Cote d'Ivoire defend their crown? We'll wait and see. But I think that Cote d'Ivoire will do well in this group. But Ecuador, you need to watch out for Ecuador too. This group, I think Cote d'Ivoire will make it either as the second place teams or as a third place, as one of the best third place teams. So by my predictions, it's going pretty well for the African teams. So we'll wait and see if all of this goes according to plan. Curacao obviously will finish last in this group. We move to the next group that has an African team. That's Group F, has Tunisia, Netherlands, Japan, and either of Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, or Albania in the playoffs. And this group is a really interesting group. I think the Netherlands are always there and about at the World Cup. They usually make it out of the group. So I'm tipping the Netherlands to make it out of this group. I don't think Tunisia will make it out of this group. I don't think Tunisia are good enough. I don't think they'll make it out of this group. I think Japan would be a close second to the Netherlands. And any team that comes through the playoff of Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, or Albania will be the team to finish third, and they'll finish as one of the best third place teams. I think Tunisia will finish last in this group. Honestly, I don't think Tunisia is coming out of this group, guys. Yeah, sorry. And to the next group, that's an African team. That's Group G: Egypt, Belgium, Iran, and New Zealand. Obviously, the weakest team on paper in this group is New Zealand. They are the lowest ranked team. So it would be easy to tip Belgium. But I think that Egypt could pull off a surprise in this group. Mo Salah is motivated. There's a high chance this could be his last World Cup. So I think Mo Salah will have a good performance. Omar Mamouche would have a good performance if he makes the World Cup. So I say Egypt would top this group, but only just closely followed by Belgium. They probably would be tied on points, and then Iran would finish third as one of the best third place teams. I hope I've not run out of best third place teams because I've said a couple in this review, by the way. And then New Zealand will finish last because I just don't see them performing any magic in this group, really. So yeah, Egypt will top Group G. And then to the next group that has an African team, that's Group J. We have Algeria, Argentina, Austria, and Jordan. Jordan are getting to the World Cup. They just missed out on the last one by a whisker. Obviously, this group has the defending champions Argentina, Leo Messi, Dibu, Martinez. Argentina are looking to win it back to back, so Argentina would not want to mess around. They know what happened at the last World Cup when they lost their opening game to Saudi Arabia that ended their 34-game winning streak that they entered their tournament with. So they don't want to mess around in this group, even though everybody expects them to top the group. So Argentina, yes, should still top this group comfortably, I must say. Algeria should give them a run for their money, but I just don't see Algeria doing anything in this group, really. I think there will only be two teams to come out of this group. That's Argentina and Austria. I don't just see Algeria making it out. So Algeria and Jordan will be knocked out in this group. That's just it. And then the next group that has an African team is Group H. Has Cabo Verde, debutant at the World Cup, also a small island nation. And then if the number one ranked team in the world as at the time of recording this video, that's Spain and Saudi Arabia. Of course, for everybody that watched the last World Cup, you know what they did against Argentina in the opening game, and then Uruguay, of course. So in this group, I also don't expect Cabo Verde to perform any magic. They are too inexperienced at this level, and yeah, so it's just going to be I think Cabo Verde will be the worst performing African team at the World Cup, just because I don't think they are good enough to compete against these other teams. So yeah, their goal difference will probably read -7, -8, close to -10 possibly. Yeah. So Spain to top this group, I think Spain would not mess around, especially against Saudi Arabia. They know they could be giant killers on their day, so Spain would not mess around in this group. Definitely Spain to top the group. Uruguay, if they are serious, they should finish second. Saudi Arabia, I'm not really sure. They might want to go one better than they did in 2022. They failed to make it out of the group, especially after starting the tournament on a high, beating Argentina 2-1. So they probably would be able to scrape through just, maybe the difference between them and one of the other best third place teams would be like goal difference or something, or probably even fair play. It will be really close. They might be tied on point, tied on goal difference, and something like maybe fair play was what will separate them. So if Saudi Arabia to make it out of this group, it will be only just Cape Verde to finish last, unfortunately. And then the last group here that Group L has Ghana, England, Croatia, and Panama. Now this group is obviously I have some Ghanaian subscribers on my channel, so don't worry guys, I won't really be hating because I actually want Ghana to qualify. But I don't think, and this is not even hating, I just don't think Ghana will be good enough to qualify, to make it out of this group. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think Ghana will be really close, but it will fall short again like in 2022. So I think Croatia will make it out of the group. Croatia and England, and then sadly Ghana and Panama will be knocked out. So that's just it. My review of the groups that have the African countries in the World Cup. And of course, there is the group that has a potential slot for the Democratic Republic of Congo, who beats Nigeria Super Eagles, by the way. But I have decided to not review that because it's not yet confirmed if Congo will be at the World Cup yet. They still have to get past either Jamaica or New Caledonia. So I've left that out because of that reason. So yeah, I have reviewed all the African teams and where they could potentially finish in the World Cup. So guys, let me know what you think about the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw, all the related topics, all the topics related to the draw that I raised, and you know what you think about them, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. And yeah, that's just it. You know, the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw. In the coming months, there will be new developments. The day after the draw, there's going to be, you know, the announcement of the locations for the matches and all of that. So there will just be new developments in the month leading up to the tournament and the opening match on the 11th of June 2026. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers on my channel. And you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, please share to all football fans and all sports fans and everybody basically. And December is going to be a really busy month on my channel, so don't forget to turn on my post notification. If you watch this video, turn on my post notification. I'm going to be talking about AFCON in December. I'm going to be doing a review of my 2025 year in sports and my predictions for 2026. I'm going to be reviewing the Super Eagles matches at AFCON and previewing their matches. I'm going to be doing a vlog from an MMA fight night, AKO 12, Kamaru Usman's MMA promotion. So there's a lot for you on my channel this month, guys. So stick around, and until I record my next video, guys, it's bye for now. Ciao.